and gentlemen, I know everything that you are exactly looking for. You're looking for a brand new romance manga. Oop, seems I've caught your attention. But there is a catch! This is a harem. And wait. Before you click off the video, I know harems, and we've got many goated ones like Rent a Girlfriend, and of course, Rent a Girlfriend, but I'm telling you, this one is different. Because it doesn't drag, well that's cap because... Because let's be real, there's hardly any manga that doesn't take 10 years for the couple to get together. I mean, fuck, I've been reading One Piece since I was in diapers, and I still have yet to see any romantic progression between me and Nami. So, y'all think it's cooked? Or do I still got a chance? But harems usually have a bad rap, mostly because of this series right here, that one right there. But there are some funny ones like that one with the long-ass title, and there's other ones I'm sure I'm forgetting, but this manga stands above the rest because, simply put, aura.
6-7. I'm such a fat fucking chud.
After this video, you will find out who the best girl is, and I will run a multitude of tests in the background while you're watching this video to perfectly assess each and every girl to figure out who exactly is the best girl to root for when the anime rolls around. Because Mr. Starts with A and Ends with N decided that it would be a great idea to put this video off. And off again, and guess what, off again, but this time we really putting this bitch out there. Right before the anime airs, which at first I thought was fake news, but no, it's real. So I had to get my Shaq back to put together a Hall of Fame video to prove that I am not a one-hit wonder, and I still got bangers in the tank. The name of the manga is Tune Into the Midnight Heart, and it isn't about a real heart, but a metaphorical one, where we meet a young noble man named Orisu Yamabuki, who has some of the most insane powers ever seen, who one day got caught lacking and fell in love with a podcaster who sings and has a multitude of goals of reaching the top of the industry. And like any man craving love and affection, he said the most out-of-pocket thing you could ever say. I love you. It seems like he didn't listen to Tyler Creator because like he said on Chromacopia, never tell someone you love her if you don't mean it. Truly a simple mistake from the young man, but he's lived his whole life with this regret, and using his super Batman detective skills, he remembers that this school was the perfect place to find this podcaster. It formerly was an all-girls school, it's in the same prefecture as him, and it has the view of a sea, all things she wanted in a school. And this podcaster does have a name, it's Apollo, and every day she would stream to one viewer who would be Orisu, where they developed their bond, and each live stream she would end it with saying I love you, which caused him to break that day. Orisu has vague memories of Apollo's voice, so when he arrives at school, he screams, "Hey, are you huz? Say I love you in my ear so I know what you sound like." Obviously, this makes him a fucking weirdo, and this is where we get introduced to one of our girls early on, Rika, where she's like, "Hey, I love you," and like, it tweaks in his ear, and he's like, "Nani? Who are you?" But his ear also gets tweaked again. When he's at lunch, he hears the voice over speakers, and guess what? It sounds exactly like Apollo's, so he dashes through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh, or whatever they say, I'm not sure, but he runs as fast as he can to the broadcasting room where he throws open the door, and standing there at the mic stands Apollo. But there's fucking 4 of them, but which girl is her? You know this wouldn't be a good romance if it only had one love interest, so they do what any peak romance would do and introduce 4 women. And these 4 girls all have sweet voices that he's totes in love with, and each one of them have one part of Apollo's dream. Each one of them scream Apollo with the way they talk, how they pronounce words, which I guess is also how they talk. Just know they all do different speaking things that Apollo did. And what is Apollo's dream, you specifically are asking me, viewer? Well, you're gonna have to wait 2,000 chapters for that to be revealed, and guess what? Even in 2,000 chapters, you're not even gonna be fucking revealed, because you know One Piece, man, am I right? That. But actually, they reveal it pretty early on. That she wants a voice-related job, and guess what? These 4 girls all have 4 different voice-related jobs that Apollo wanted. So it doesn't help narrow down the options in the slightest. So he does what any sane person would do. He straight up asked them, which one of you is Apollo? And they all look confused, bewildered, muddled, daddled, befuddled, because of course something like this could never be that easy, and if it was, then it wouldn't be going on for over 80 chapters. This formerly being an all-girls school does come with consequences. The 4 of them from the broadcasting club are seen as queens among the student body, so with no options left, this man Arisu pulls a rabbit out of the hat and says, if I make this half-court shot, y'all let me join. And he fucking nails it. Actually, psych. If you do remember, Orisu and Apollo really fucked with each other, and she said her dream was voice work, so guess what? He did some studying up on voice work, and he begged them to join in order to help them go pro, because their equipment fucking sucked. And he also kind of had no other choice, because if he went out into that angry mob, he would have got done like I do when I'm playing Cloak and Dagger, and I'm playing against a fucking Magneto, and he's like, "Oh, Magneto, boom!" and I fucking explode everywhere. And then I just sit there and I'm like, damn, I'm chopped. This is now where the whole narrative kicks into place. We finally have the ball in play. No more warming up, the buzzer went off, and now we have the wheels in motion for him to finally find Apollo. And take back those words he said so long ago, but deep down, I don't know if it's just me, but I think he might be feeling Apollo, but you know what? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. But let's meet this broadcasting club. Arisu is the main character of the whole story. He's goofy as shit and honestly a hardworking lad. Even coming from a rich family, he still works for everything that he wants. He promised the girls new equipment and he's secretly working his ass off to get new equipment for the broadcasting club because not only does he like Apollo, but he actually believes in the four of them individually, wanting the absolute best for them, which can also lead to problems between them. He ain't gonna beat around the bush either. He's gonna tell them straight up what they're ass at and what they're not ass at. He will do anything for them to achieve their dreams, and I mean literally anything. While he wants the best for them, he also goes overboard sometimes, which causes some early turmoil in the club with Rika about her music, which leads to an amazing panel, by the way. Also, he sees her finally play for the first time ever, where he realizes that his idea really wasn't shit at all. It was actually ass. She was already cooking even without his help, but this does have some foreshadowing with her. If you notice, she only ever does covers, but I'll get to more why she does that later on when I get to her. But this leads to a moment between the two of them. All chapter, she's been wondering if he even knows what it's like to play in front of a crowd, to feel the nerves. So she pushes on him and hugs him, and she feels his heart beat faster. All chapter, he's like, I'm a Yamabuki, I can never feel nerves. And all she says is, you fat chud liar boy. Just pointing out that, you know, he might be putting on a front just to, you know, help the girls, but he understands and doesn't understand, but he's always going to be there for him to help him out no matter what it is. Now let's start with the girlies of the group, and I might as well start with the one I dislike the most, and that is the one that wants to be a VTuber. And I'm going to butcher the fuck out of her name, but it's Iko, and I never really vibed with her, and I'm not entirely sure why. She's kind of cool, I guess, but I just don't really like her at all. She's got no sauce, no personality, nothing. She just feels so bland compared to the other girls, where it gets to a point where I don't really even like the chapters where it's just her and Arisu one-on-one, but a chapter later on made me like her a tad bit more. Since she's competing in the VTuber game, she has to compete with a lot of big people like Iron Mouse and Inners, and that is all I know, but there's a girl in this story with over 3 million subscribers. This makes Iko feel like she might just be the only one out of the four of them to not achieve that dream, and I was like, fuck, you know, some days you really do feel like it doing this YouTube stuff, where you feel like you might not even make it, but guess what, she keeps pushing forward, and early on she struggles showing off her emotions on stream, but Arisu patches that up pretty quickly. Eventually she does blow up a little bit because everybody thinks she pissed her pants, and I was like, you know what, it's really not that far out to think she would blow up because of that. So overall, she's getting a 2 out of 10 on the scale of how realistic it is that she's going to win the whole thing, which probably means that she has the highest chances to win. Now we get to the tsundere. And as many of you know, I really don't like this trope. It's one of the worst, and I hate it. But Nana actually isn't that bad, and I know I butchered her voice, so I apologize. Her dream is a simple one. She wants to be a voice actress. She wants to go down with the legends such as Luffy's voice actor, Goku's voice actor. Shit, anybody iconic, she wants to be up there with them. She also has a lack of experience with some things, so what does Arisu help her do? Exactly that, help her gain some experience. Whether it's being in a relationship, having a kiss, ooh, spicy, and even what it feels like to get cheated on. So he is so dedicated to helping her get into the material that she is acting for, to help with the emotion that she struggles with. Their interactions are also my favorite between like all of them together. There's something about their dynamic that I really enjoy so much. Her reactions to everything and his counter reactions to her reactions. It's fun to watch these two together, which oddly enough makes me want to see her be Apollo, so there's that. But I'll give her a 8 out of 10 on the potential scale to be Apollo, because personally I'd like to see it, which is odd for me to say because usually it is a trope I dislike. Azuki's the one who wants to be a broadcaster, which is like go kill it, Swin, but she is a bit of an airhead, and that is something I really like about her character, as goofy as it is. She's also probably the most relatable. Vice president of the student council, she accepts every task thrown her way, which can be very overwhelming for her, but she takes it all on the chin because she wants to meet the expectations every single person has put on her. She doesn't even believe that she is allowed to stand on the same level as the other three, a complex some would call inferiority, but there's definitely more to be revealed about why she has such a complex. She always feels like when she wants to do something, it never works out for her, and we only get a tease as to what it possibly could be that makes her feel this way. Arisu promises that he's gonna help her no matter what, so she can feel like she deserves to stand on even ground with them. And he always shows up for her when it matters most, but I'll give her a 5 out of 10 on the Apollo scale, because Apollo has the most movement when it's an Azuki focused arc, but it could also be the author trying to throw you off the trail or throw you on the trail. But she's always up there. Also, she has a pretty cool panel in the rain. Now it's finally time to talk about the last girl, Rika, the guitar singer. Wanting to be like, I don't know music, so, I'm not really sure. I'm not musically gifted, so, I don't know many singer guitars. So, she might not be my favorite of the group, but she has the most pain in her backstory so far. She has a lot of fear of judgmental eyes placed on her, but someone in her past put a lot of faith in her one time, and she didn't pull it off, causing crazy disappointment from them. So this is why she lashed out on Arisu earlier, because she thinks, oh, he's just trying to be like that asshole from earlier in my life. But he actually cares way more than she thinks he does. He might be a stuck-up rich asshole sometimes, but deep down he cares so much to help her. He knows that she struggles in front of crowds, so he tells her, yo, just perform in front of people. And she's like, fuck you, dude. dude, how could you dare say that? You know I struggle and you're gonna make me perform in front of a bunch of random strangers? But he actually lied to her. When she got to the rooftop, turns out that it was just the people she trusted most, and, you know, it helped her, and that they were all rooting for her, which eventually led to a culmination where, you know, she was finally able to play in a park in front of a whole bunch of people, so shout out to her. She feels like such an obvious pick for Apollo, so I'll give her a 9 out of 10 on the scale of is she Apollo, is she not? Something about her just screams Apollo. Speaking of Apollo, let's fully dive into a moment that is pretty fucking big in the context of the story. When Izuki first has her confession service, this is where we get the most movement from Apollo, because before all she was doing was throwing subliminals on the radio station again, but this is where she confesses something fucking nuts. And this is my Apollo voice. Yo, Arisu, I ghosted you a long time ago. I didn't think I could hold up my end of the bargain with our promise, but when you came back into my life, you weren't mad at me at all. You just wanted to help me, and that is where I'll return the favor. Arisu, I love you. Like, generational bombshell, by the way, she's only ever teased him. So this is fucking insane. This is also where Arisu and Apollo finally meet face to face for the first time. Well, not really, but kind of really. She talks through the string thingy, and you know these devices, they don't work, and I know they don't work because how can a string carry your voice?
Did you just hang up the phone on me?
But she yaps into his ears for a brick before saying, yo, wanna see my face? And he declines. But he also has a new goal in his mind. He wants to become a producer to help all 4 girls reach their peaks. And plus, you know, like I said, he doesn't take free handouts, so he says, fuck no, I don't want to see your face. But she walks out and whispers in his ears, and at this point, bro, if you don't know who that is, literally that's on you, because she is whispering in your ear, giving you ASMR, and you still can't tell which one it is. And I know in the story they're like, oh, well, actually, they all kind of have, like, similar voices. Bro, fuck out of here, bro. He could be able to tell if she's whispering directly in his fucking eardrum.
It's blank. What?
This is all the important characters that play a part in the story, besides the teacher, Lemon. I'm just kidding. They're the only ones you really gotta pay attention to. Each chapter you see them fall head over heels more and more for Arisu from him helping them. First it's Miss Tsundere, then it's Miss VTuber, then it's Miss Broadcaster, and then it's Miss Singer. But Miss Voice Actress and Miss VTuber be the only ones really trying to make some moves on him. They be spitting obvious game with him, and he just looks at them and is like, ah yes, dreams and power. This manga does some great things. 2 things specifically that I really like. One is the art. The art is fucking fantastic. When Rika plays guitar, they are some of the most jaw-dropping, amazing scenes in the entire manga. Each girl has a panel that really kind of sticks with you when you read it. When you think of Rika, you instantly think of a guitar scene. Then it has this crazy double spread in chapter 4 where she's reading off her script, and it's like, it just encapsulates everything about her dream. Iko has this one where she's in her VTuber model and she points at the camera, and that is where you can see it, that she has the VTuber potential in there. Regardless of how much work she needs to do, you can see the potential. And Izuki just has this dumbass panel, and I'm like, that's my goat. That's my goat right there. But she does have a panel in chapter 14 when she is confessing Apollo's confession, and she's standing there reading the microphone, and you're like, wow, that's my GOAT broadcaster right there. That's my fucking GOAT broadcaster. Damn near every double spread in this manga just looks amazing, and that's a big shout out to the author because they be cooking. The chapter covers are also great too. The art in general is just one of the best things about this manga. Then another highlight is Arisu's interactions with the girls. His best work comes with Nene and Izuki. They all work off of each other so much more naturally, and it feels like they have much more funnier scenes together, whether it's Nene's reactions to his silly plans. All the girls work really well off each other. They complement each other so well to a point where you understand their friendship without it being shoved down your neck. So no matter what combination you put the 4 of them in, they all work really well together. It's just when you add Arisu that you actually get them to open up more, whether it's about stage fright, lack of feeling like you belong, or even simple stuff. And he pulls through helping them every single time, becoming the most likable character out of all of them. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Who is the best girl to root for and who's going to be Apollo? And who you should root for. So you'll know when the time comes that you were always on that side. So, now for best girl, it's Reze, because she's full of explosion! But if we're going off the Apollo answer, it's probably gonna be Iko, because I don't like her, so she'll probably end up winning. My personal answer would be Azuki or Nene, but you know, the tests are leading towards Miss VTuber here, so. But that will be my prediction for now. This manga is gonna have moments that make you laugh and giggle, but it will also have moments where your ass claps and jiggles because the art really makes you want to give it some sort of applause. Then, the long-awaited news. The anime is coming out pretty soon. What? It's made by the people who made this naked robot show? Oh, we are so cooked up!